Adrian, lots to take in about self-awareness and how work works. I'm curious, what were some of the big takeaways you realized?
First off, I don't think it's a huge surprise to any of us that 95% of us think we're self-aware, and about 15% of us or so are actually self-aware. So this is one of my thoughts as Michelle was saying this. I think it's brilliant and it's great work. How many of us don't really want to know what others think of us, especially if you are feeling a little anxious, a little stressed? It's much easier to just go through life kind of oblivious, isn't it?
Absolutely. She reinforced what we hear all the time, and that your line manager, your immediate supervisor, has a huge impact on what you think of work. And I really appreciated the fact that she said, well, work on that relationship.
Yeah.
That's really an important relationship. Instead of whining and complaining about your boss, figure out ways to connect and make that connection. I thought it was great.
And also for the boss, too, I thought this was really interesting, is the boss needs to be more open, honest. And we hear this a lot. We preach this when we go out and speak. You and I, just 2 days ago, we were in one of the world's largest banks, and we were giving a presentation. And you remember that the one woman who stood up, and we asked about kind of a good experience from your past work with the boss. And she talked about Jack Welch at GE Capital. And she said she was in a meeting once as a junior analyst, and Jack said what he wants to do, and he asked the group, he says, give me some feedback. And everybody said, great idea, boss, great idea, boss. And Jack stood up and said, great, you're all fired. I don't need any of you. And then he gave it a little pause. Then he said, okay. He says, I'm kind of kidding. He says, but if you come into a meeting again and give me no feedback, he says, this will be your last day at GE. So, he says, I don't need people who don't give me feedback. And that's what we need to, bring out in our teams, is we need that interaction and that honesty.
Yeah. It comes back to, what do your relationships look like? And you spend more time at work. Her line, other than sleep, we spend more time at work than we do anywhere else. I can make the argument, I've got lots of friends who spend way more time at work than they do sleeping. It could be number one for them. And so, work on that network, work on those relationships. I really appreciated her take on reflection, self-reflection, ask the why questions. Why did this happen? How can I do this better? And she said, look, just 15 minutes a day can really increase your productivity over as few days as 10 days. That reflection becomes really important, doesn't it?
It does. And what I also like, too, is this idea of ambiguity, which we haven't touched on as much, but this is really important, especially, for anybody who feels anxious at work. If we're creating an ambiguous situation where I don't know how my boss is going to react, you think of the best bosses that you've ever had, they're consistent. However they are, we're not telling people to change. We're just telling you, be consistent. So it's not like, oh my gosh, Chester today, don't go near him. He's in one of his moods. That's never helpful, is it?
No, never is. I really love the fact that she offers so many free things on her website. This e-journal, a tip a week for 52 weeks. Those little tools that, she offers, I think that's part of the discipline. Yeah. Am I reflecting every day? Do I have an accountability partner, whether it's an e-journal or a friend, and in her network, what can I give as opposed to what can I get, that I thought was really a healthy perspective on keeping your network fresh and engaged.
Yeah, we could go on and on. Lots of great tips, lots of great information. So, thanks to Michelle King coming on today and enlightening us. We want to thank our producer, Brent Klein, who helps put all this together, to Christy Lawrence, who helps us find amazing guests like Michelle, and all of you who have listened in. If you like the podcast, please download it, share it. And we'd love you to visit thecultureworks.com for some free resources, including a new journal coming out in just a few weeks. Yes, the gratitude habit, right, Chess?
Absolutely. Buy one for yourself and one for a friend. Why buy just one? And of course, we love speaking to audiences all around the world, whether it's virtual or in person, on topics like culture, teamwork, resilience, and anxiety in the workplace, and so on. So give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about your event. Well, Adrian, another great podcast. As always, I will give you the last word.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks, Jess, for your insights as well. And until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.